Hey guys, so about a week ago I posted on Instagram a picture of this blush from Benefit, and I asked you guys if you'd want to see a video about all of the different ones that I've used and that I have. Half of them are actually mine and the other half of my sister's, but we kind of share, we don't share makeup on a daily basis, but basically whenever the other one buys something new, we both try it, if that makes any sense. So all of these products are not mine, but I have tried them all. And I've made notes on all of them, and I asked her opinion, just so that way I can talk about the most amount of products as possible, if that makes any sense. So before I start talking about the individual shades, I just got some general information on them. They are kind of expensive. In the States, at Ulta, they're $28, but in Canada, at Sephora, they're $36, which is really expensive for a blush, in my opinion. And each one has a different amount of product in it, which is kind of strange because they all look the same. They all come in the same packaging, but they range from 0.17 ounces to 0.42 ounces, which is a really huge range. And I think the Rockateur had the lowest amount of product, and Sugar Bomb had the most amount of product. And the powders that I have two different types of the packaging. I have the old packaging, which looks like this, where the lid actually comes away from the product, and the new packaging, the lid is attached, so when you pull it up, it looks like this. There's a little mirror there, and you get a little brush in every single powder. So the different colors that they have are Hoola, which is a bronzing powder, Dandelion, which is a brightening powder, Hervana, which they said is like a flush. I just went by all of the descriptions that they had on their site. Bamba, which is supposed to be a sculpting 3D blush. Coralista, they described as a warm coral. Dallas is supposed to give you a healthy glow. The Rockateur is a rose gold cheek powder. And lastly, Sugar Bomb is a peach, plum, pink, and rose powder. So like I said, I have 6 of them here, and I'm going to go through each of the colors in order from least favorite to most favorite. So the first one I'm going to start off with is called Sugar Bomb, and it looks like this. This is the one that has the most amount of product in it. This one is different from all of the other powders because it's actually not one color. You get 4 different colors in here. And like I said earlier, there's a peach, a plum, a pink, and a rose. I'm not sure which one is supposed to be which. But yeah, now we'll go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of this particular shade. So the things that I like about it is there are 4 colors, so you can kind of customize it to what look you're going for. You could use 1 shade, you could use 2, 3, or all 4 at once, which is kind of nice because it's a little bit more versatile than just a 1 shade blush. This one has a really nice floral scent to it, and it's not overpowering. You can't smell it when it's on your face, but you can smell it when you're applying it, which is kind of a nice touch. This one is super pigmented, which can be both a pro and a con, depends kind of how you like your blush to look. Personally, I like mine to be a little bit more natural, so this is a bit overpowering for me, but again, it's all about your preference. One thing that I really don't like about this product is that it has really strong gold shimmer, and it was actually so strong. I applied it for the first time and I took it off because it was so awful. I had a gold streak up my cheek of just pure shimmer, and this might look better on people with a different skin tone because on me it showed up really orange, but if you have more of a tan skin tone, then it might look better and a little bit more natural. Just on me, it was a very unnatural shade. Overall, it's not my favorite box powder from them, and I probably wouldn't wear it again. So the next product is Dandelion, and like I said, this one is supposed to be a brightening powder. It's not necessarily marketed as a blush, so I'll show you what it looks like. It's just a light pink shimmery powder. So now I'll go ahead and go through the pros and cons. So one thing I really like about it is that the shimmer is very subtle and it looks very natural when it's on your cheeks. It actually does just look kind of like you're glowing. It's not like, oh, she has a sparkly blush on, which is really nice. Something else that's really awesome about this one is you can use it as a blush or a highlighter depending on your skin tone. So if you're on the more pale side, like my sister, she's super pale, she can wear this as a blush and it looks really pretty. If you're on the darker side, it's not probably going to work as a blush just because it might turn out to be kind of frosty or ashy looking since it is a really light shade. But if that's the case, you could always use it as a highlighter. So it really works for a lot of different skin tones, I think. The cons for this one is that there's not very much color payoff. It is really, really sheer and natural. But if that's what you're looking for, then that could be a pro for you. And like I said before, if you have darker skin, this could appear a little bit chalky or ashy. But for the most part, I like this one. The next powder is called Bamba, and this one is fairly new. I want to say it came out 3 years ago, so compared to some of the other powders, it is one of the newer shades. This is what it looks like, and I would describe this one as like a watermelon pink. I think that's actually what they describe it as on the website as well, and it's very true to the description. And it does claim to make your cheeks look three-dimensional, which I think is just kind of funny because we are three-dimensional, so it's not like it's going to do anything different than any other powders. But what I do really like about it is that, like the Sugar Bomb one, this one has a really nice scent. It does smell kind of fruity and kind of floral, which is really pretty. It's super, super bright and super pigmented, and there's also a lot of shimmer in it. I think the best thing about this shade is that I think it's probably the most universally flattering box powder from Benefit that I own. I think that this would work on any skin tone, from pale to super dark, just because it is such a bright watermelon color. One of the downsides is that this one is really, really shimmery, and sometimes if you apply a little bit too much, it can kind of look, between the brightness and the shimmer, it can just look a little bit gaudy sometimes. But if you apply it properly, it can look super, super pretty. Overall, I really like this blush and I would continue to use it. This one is my sister's though, so I have to pour it. But I think it's really pretty and it looks really great with a tan. The next blush that I have is Dallas, and I'm wearing this one right now. This one is my most recent purchase of the Benefit box powders. Like I said, I got it like a week ago, so I haven't used it as much as the other ones, but I've been using it ever since I got it, basically every day, so I can kind of give you a rough idea and my opinion on it. So the main thing that I like about this one, and the reason that I bought it, is because it's basically like a bronzer and a blush in one. And before I would contour with Hula and then put on Coralista, and I still love doing that, but for days when I don't want to take the extra step to use two products, this one is really nice. So it looks like this. I would describe it as kind of like muddy plum color, if that makes any sense. Doesn't sound flattering, but when you put it on, it's surprisingly nice. The finish of this one is satin, so unlike the other ones, there's not sparkles in it, which makes it look more natural. And it has a really warm tone, even though it is a little bit plummy. It's not cool toned at all, and I think it makes you look like you have a really natural kind of color from being outside. So you're not looking like you just applied a ton of blush or a ton of makeup. It actually does kind of look like you've been spending some time outside and got some natural color. I would say the main con about this one is, like Dandelion, it might not flatter all skin tones just because it is kind of a muddy color. So I would definitely test this one if you're looking at buying it, just to make sure that it'll suit you. Next, probably one of the most popular Benefit box powders is Hula. And you probably already know about this one. It's just a matte bronzer. I like that it's matte because you can actually use it to contour as well as a bronzer, so you don't have to buy two separate products. And for a bronzer, this is surprisingly easy to blend. I find I have a lot of trouble applying contour naturally without making it look like I have a brown streak up my cheekbone, but this one, even if you apply too much, it's pretty easy to blend out with a kabuki brush or a blush brush. It's not that hard to apply. Another thing that I really like about this one is when you apply it, it doesn't look like a muddy or an orange color. It really does look like the color that your skin would turn from a tan. So it helps it look more natural and more like a believable color than most contours, which can turn out to be kind of streaky and orange. This is also really pigmented and it's really easy to blend, and you can build it up fairly easily as well depending on how dark you want the color to look. One downside is that it's really easy to apply too much, but that problem can easily be solved. And lastly, my favorite of the box powders, which you've probably heard me talk about a lot, Coralista. I love this one the most out of all of them, and I've used this one the most. This blush, the reason I love it so much is because it smells nice, it's very blendable, it's very natural, it looks great with a tan. I think it makes you look really healthy when you wear it, and it makes it look like you just have a natural color and glow to your face, because there is a little bit of gold shimmer, but it's pretty natural depending on how you apply it. And mostly this one just really accents a tan well, or if you apply it with bronzer, it looks amazing. Overall, I think this one just gives you a really fresh and bright look, and I honestly don't have any cons for this one. I just love it so much. As a whole, for all of those powders, I think they last on the skin for about 6 hours. After that, they kind of start to fade for me. And the shimmery ones seem to fade a little bit faster than the matte products. So just to keep in mind, if you're looking for something more long wearing, I would either go for Dallas or Hoola. And again, overall, I think that they're a pretty decent product. The packaging is really nice. I prefer the old packaging just because sometimes with this design, the edge of the box can go into the powder, so just be careful for that, so that way you don't take a huge chunk out of your brand new box powder. They don't irritate my skin at all, and they've never made me break out, which is really nice and pretty important to me for a product that I'll be using every day. I think all of the powders are really good quality, and I think that although they're kind of expensive, oh sorry, there's a weird shadow there from my blinds. There we go. Although they're pretty expensive, I do think that they're worth the price, especially if you're the type of person that likes to use the same blush every single day. You want something that's good quality, something that will last on your skin throughout the day, and also something that just makes you happy and makes you feel good. And I think all of these all the packaging from these boxes is really pretty, and they look really nice if you had them on your vanity. So that's always a nice touch as well. So that's kind of my opinion slash review on these powders. I've never tried any of the other shades, except for the Rockateur. I swatched that one and it looked really pretty, but I decided to go with Dallas instead. So if you guys have any opinions on the other colors or even these ones, leave them in the comments down below. And if you have any questions, you can also ask those in the comments. That's all for this video, but I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.